Happy holidays from me, Madman Bob Goep, and Leone Digital Broadcast Network. Now, hey, go sucker punch your brother. Fuck him. He deserves it. By the way, I hope you all have a good holiday. You know, Merry Christmas to you. The fuck piss off the atheist. Merry Christmas, all right? But while you're enjoying your beautiful holiday, and I hope you have a great one, sitting around a fire, maybe opening gifts with the kids. Nat King Cole playing in the background. I'll be out telling fucking jokes, working Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So I hope you guys have a good holiday, all right? Go fuck yourselves.
Hey, this is Brandy, and you're listening to the You Want Country show. Subscribe to this, you don't want to miss anything. Thanks for listening.
Funnier than Gretzky with Damonde and Dan. Damonde and Dan. Damonde and Dan. Funnier than Gretzky with Damonde and Dan.
All right, you're listening to Funnier and Gretzky with Damonde and Dan. I'm Dan Quinn.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! It's the New Year one. We didn't do a Christmas one. You had your Christmas break off.
I'm Damonde Tschritter, by the way. I'm excited because it's New Year's Eve right now.
Well, I'm assuming they got who that was.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that we didn't do a Christmas Eve one. So if you didn't get to unwrap your podcast for Christmas Day, we're sorry.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people texting in and on the computer websites.
Yeah. Damon had this idea that he was going to do one with his family and be some sort of drunken podcast, and you got the drunken part.
Yeah, they showed up. Well, no, I didn't actually get the chance to do the family. I got Uncle. Yeah, I thought we could get together like the day before, but no, they're irresponsible shoppers and were out running around. But I did get Uncle Jimmy his Crown Royal and a special label made on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I happened to be in a liquor store where they were like, hey, if you buy this Crown, we can make a label. So it says Crown Royal, but instead of the other stuff, you can put on whatever you want. So it says Uncle Jimmy San's Rye Sinwa, which is what he calls a Rye and Coke is a Rye Sinwa, and Uncle Jimmy San is what he calls himself because he's a judo champ from Japan. Yeah. So put that on the label. Yeah. And then he ducked out for Christmas. He's like, I'm like, are you coming to Christmas? And he wasn't answering his phone. His text like, oh, I got a hot date tonight. I don't think I'm going to make it for Christmas Eve.
Yeah. He's about as Japanese as Mickey Rooney.
Yes, and he looks like Rodney Dangerfield.
He looks like Rodney Dangerfield.
So had to go to his house. I was like, that son of a bitch is ducking me.
Yeah.
And his car was parked there, so I gave him the buzz, buzzed his apartment, and he answered like, here, like, hello. I was like, Candygram. And he's like, what? Candygram. He's like, Candygram? Oh, okay, come on up. And then when I was coming down the hall, he sticks his head out the door. Oh, Jesus Christ, you got me. I thought it was a candygram coming. He's old enough to still think that a candygram.
Who'd be sending him a candygram?
I don't know. It was Christmas Day. It was Christmas Eve. No, it was Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Or Christmas Eve day. I guess he just thought, he's 67 or whatever. I guess candygrams used to arrive back in the day. I figured I could fool him. Yeah. With a candygram. I think a candigram's what, just like a dancing, like the Ferris Bueller's nurse.
Did he have his cock out when you showed up? What do you think he was thinking?
You know what? It's close, Dan. He had a robe.
Yeah. He was ready to open that thing.
Red robe, and he was like, oh, hey, I didn't really get dressed in his robe. And he was just sitting there. But Christy was with me, and she's like, I had to keep my eye level up. Because he was just like sitting with a low-cut robe going, hey, what's going on here? Sit down and have a rye sinwa. Like he was pouring up ryes and... he was drinking rye.
And what time is this? This is
11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So
we'll give him 11 a.m. It's holidays.
Yeah. So he was that was my one big surprise, and then I got a trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
From Christy's dad's family, the Griswold family.
So you're going to do the Griswold family Christmas in Hawaii next year?
Yep. Load up and go to Hawaii, all of us.
Wow.
Berets. Just say the name on our heads. Rusty. I don't know what you wear in Hawaii. I guess you don't wear a beret, but yeah, that's what we're wearing. But that's what
I believe that's France. But
but her dad even gave hey, it's Griswold family Christmas. So yeah, Shocky, how about yourself? Did you get all hyped up on NyQuil and tell off the family again?
No NyQuil telling anybody off. I got in the usual arguments with my dad as well. My dad and I have this thing where my dad likes to read National Geographic and stuff and these facts, and he likes to read these things, but his memory is horrible. Yeah. So, or whatever he reads, he just remembers half of it, and he'll start telling me something, and then finally he'll be like, nope, I read it in National Geographic, and I'm like, Dad, you're wrong. Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So then I'll call him out on it, and then we'll go on it for a while, and then I'll just Google it, and he'll be like, well, you got your Google machine.
The Google machine.
And
he doesn't trust the Google machine.
Yeah.
And do you have Google out at the farm now? Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we got.
I thought maybe you were just in an old time argument where you had to settle it with a bet, and then
it used to just get to the point of where we would just almost leave mad. Now eventually I can just pull out Google and go like, okay, you're wrong. There's a couple about how white wine.
You still lead off with you're wrong. You don't say, Dad, look at this.
Yeah,
you were half right. You don't give him half.
It starts. So he'll say like 3 in a row, and then finally I'm just like, okay, that's not true. Like that's wrong. And then and he'll just be so confident in it, and that's the way it used to be. That's before Google. It was just who had the most confidence always won, and it was your dad. So I just walk away mad.
I see where you get it from.
Yeah,
that was you before Google.
Yeah,
you just confidently argued your point.
Yeah.
And then you maybe called it a draw. You were like that Black Knight that got his arms and legs cut off in Monty Python.
Yeah, call it even.
Call it even. Did you get Mom get any more George Costanza Mum dolls for her collection?
No. Yeah,
is that collection
that we've done? That was easy for a while though, because we didn't know what to get Mom for Christmas, and she was collecting dolls, so we just get her a doll, and that was actually good shopping. Now I don't know what to do.
Where do you find those? For the people at home, those are those old time,
they look
creepy
like people.
Kind of doll. Yeah, and they got the one made up of your mom and dad. They got specially made. Right?
My sisters. There's one of my sisters. They're grad. Yeah, and as their babies too, somebody got them made.
But they're the dolls from like the Seinfeld one that he had that looked like his mom when George Costanza. They're that type of doll. I don't know where you get them. My grandmother's aunt had them or whatever. That kind of.
And they're not cheap. They're between $100 and $200 a piece.
Yeah. Well, there's a soul encaptured in each one of those. There's some sort of person.
I think they murder a child to put it inside. I don't know.
Jeez, child murder here on the New Year's podcast. And so everyone right now is probably they probably got Ryan Seacrest on, getting ready for the countdown.
Yeah, I don't think they're big Ryan Seacrest fans.
He runs the countdown now, huh?
Really? Yeah. But it still says Dick Clark's New Year's Eve.
Rockin' New Year's Eve with Dick Clark. I saw one of the last
posted by Ryan Seacrest.
I saw one of the last ones Dick did.
Yeah.
That was down when, I got engaged that night. Horrible night.
Right.
Horrible night. Then I lying there watching, and it was Ryan Seacrest and Dick Clark had his stroke, so they'd... Let's count it down. 10, 9. They wheeled out Dick Clark with a stroke.
What number is he at?
He started at 10. Yeah, they wheeled him out. He looked good. They had a good powder base on him, but he still was all strokey. And then Ryan Seacrest.
He still had good hair.
Yeah, right. He looked the same, only he was like not, his face wasn't moving too much, and he had a terrible, he was all gimpy when he counted. But Ryan Seacrest carried the show, so... Man,
so it was Ryan Seacrest
what a job,
and
Ryan
Dick Clark?
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest and Dick Clark, and they're sitting up on like a balcony.
They didn't have like with Wayne Newton, remember where the backup singers had to sing Donkashane, and then he got upset?
No.
He's trying to sing, it wasn't like Dick Clark, like 9, and they're like, 9!
No, just Dick Clark. They're like, let him go. 9, 8. I don't even know if he hit New Year's on the... He still hit New Year's on the mark. Probably Dick Clark's a professional.
It took like 25 seconds to count down 10. They're like, it's everybody's celebrating, the rest of New York, fireworks are going on in the background.
And he's only at 6. Fireworks in the background, the ball's in the middle of Times Square. I just lied there watched. So I think Dick Clark passed away, didn't he?
I don't know. I usually get those updates. I'd have to ask my dad.
Yeah, ask your dad. You guys can argue about that. And it's a great time of year for hockey because it's
the World Juniors.
World Juniors.
Yeah.
And
what? And
your favorite guy in the whole world, the Connor McDavid, hasn't done much.
No, he hasn't done that much. He also missed 6 weeks, so he's a little bit behind. But he still looks good out there. Like the same thing like when people were saying Crosby didn't do anything in the Olympics. He wasn't getting the score sheet, but he was creating chances. Connor McDavid had some beautiful plays in the game yesterday. That pass to Lazar where he goes just over the guy's stick and it lands perfectly on the ice.
It's
like
mostly Ty Domi and Paul Reinhardt Part 2. Their offshoots are running around.
They look like an NHL line out there playing.
With Ducat. They got the black guy on the Ducatter.
Is that what you're going with?
I can't remember what his name was. Duclair. He was awesome. He's awesome. And
that line looks like... I mean, two of those three guys are in the NHL.
Yeah, and that guy who was raised by a nurse.
The guy who was raised by a nurse?
His father left him early, and then he took the nurse's last name, Darnell Nurse.
Or Darnell Nurse.
I told Rob that.
He looks good, too. Darnell he looks super fast and really good player.
Yeah. And the Godla, for the goalie for the Slovaks, he didn't have much of a game. They pulled him after 4 goals.
Yeah.
Did you watch the game?
I watched some of that game, yeah. I've been traveling. I drove on... No, I didn't watch the Boxing Day game. I watched the highlights. Okay. And then I didn't get to watch a Germany game either, so I didn't see much in highlights on that.
So you haven't really watched anything until last night?
No, I've watched other teams. I watched some of the USA games. It's just I've been driving. I was in Alberta and I get back. I drove up to... But I recorded the game last night because I was tired of missing. So I recorded it.
Your girlfriend wanted to watch the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
And I said,
that's actually not bad.
That's better than her needing to watch, what did you say, Big Brother?
The Bachelor.
The Bachelor or something.
You know, it's not like I couldn't watch the hockey game.
You're taping hockey so she can watch hockey. I'd say that's a winning formula.
Yeah.
Too bad it's the Jets.
Yeah.
But
and Minnesota Wild, so not even an exciting...
The 2 worst areas to live in North America played each other that night.
It was the winner of the Ice Bowl.
Swamp Dogs. It's just an awful place, so...
Yeah. Not an exciting... you got to win in that hockey game. That's all you have.
And do you have any pots and pans for the countdown at the end of this? To just bang some pots and pans, ringing the new year here?
We'll do it Dick Clark style.
Dick Clark style, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should. We've got a special guest this week. Well, not special in like a Dick Clark way, but special in we've never had him on before.
Never had him on before.
Never even seen the guy. I've seen him once.
Seen him once in history. Yeah. I just worked with him a few weeks ago. Very funny stand-up comic, and
on the Christmas circuit.
On the Christmas circuit,
yeah.
we're doing the Christmas circuit.
Well, we'll get into that. I think we worked. We had one weird restaurant show in Coquitlam.
Oh, those are never good.
Yeah, Port Moody.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Ben McGinnis.
Hey, thanks. Straight from the Christmas circuit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, you can hear the excitement in his Christmas voice as he steps in here.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say we only worked once. I've seen we around town or all the shows. But
yeah, I've seen you around.
But
thanks for having me.
I think the only time we actually did a show, didn't you and I have to go do a show in Port Moody or somewhere in a weird wooden restaurant, Coquitlam.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we went into somewhere weird.
It wasn't the Golden Spike. It was something else. It was like. It might have been Port Coquitlam. I think it was me, you, and Ivan went.
Yeah, it was way out there, and we had to go into some sort of wooden place down on a floor. Wood. That's the first time we worked together. It was sort of a lodgy bar in the middle of like a golf parking lot or something. Still, it was all odd. All of it was glamorous.
Odd. Standing ovations?
All the way around. All the way around. Some people were standing. They weren't necessarily clapping. They were getting up and going to the bar, but they were standing.
Their hands were tired. Yeah. Their hands were tired already from all the clapping, so they just stood at the end.
And what did you get for Christmas?
What did I get? Nothing really. Like I got like a stocking with some oranges and socks and stuff. We don't really do like presents anymore in my family.
So they give you oranges?
Yeah, we do like mandarin oranges growing up. That was a big thing.
That's only one step up from coal.
Yeah. It's like very little house on the prairie getting like a candy cane for Christmas.
Okay, so just the stockings, is that because the family...
yeah, we're all a little older. I'm kind of the youngest in the family, so
all right.
we don't do big presents much anymore.
What was the biggest, did you do it like as a kid? Where they give you a Tyco racing track?
Yeah, I got stuff when I was a kid.
And then they called it at what, 18? Boom, you're growing up, you're off toys?
Yeah, like 20 maybe.
20, okay.
My mom actually tried one year when we were adults. We're like, Christmas isn't as fun anymore because you just open shirts and stuff like that, And we should, Mom's like, well, maybe we should do toys or something, like some sort of toy, next year. So we're all adults, and we're like, this would be great, we'll get to open toys, so you open the toys, and you're like, what am I going to do with these things? I don't want to play any of these things. So it was just like, it wasn't fun at all. And it were sort of like adult toys, but it wasn't any better. It was like, I guess we'll go play a board game now in the kitchen.
No tabletop hockey game or like a rock'em sock'em? Did you have the boxer fighter guys?
I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was like, Yeah, it just wasn't exciting. She ended up getting us pajamas, though, because we'd gotten those when we were kids, and she got those adults, and then that became a tradition for a while. So that's pretty good.
Like the one sleepy pajama that goes all the way up from
No, not the onesie.
Sleepers?
That would be pretty good. They're actually just, like t-shirt and pajama pants kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes it a little bit kind of like
And
remind you of a kid.
You guys had a throwback year.
Yeah, we had a throwback year, and I realized why we didn't want toys anymore.
Just one. Just threw it back one time.
Yeah.
Throwback year, and then...
Just imagining like 35-year-old Dan Quinn with like a G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay.
Guess I can give that to the nephew.
Yeah, right.
Did he have moving eyes? Did you have a special thing on him, or a special kung fu grip or anything like that on your G.I. Joe?
Probably not. That's probably
not.
even though it's something to get excited about. I mean, it might have been, who knows, some sort of video game or something too.
I can't remember the last toy I got for Christmas. Probably like a Millennium Falcon or something like that. You always go big.
Yeah.
Give me some sort of giant Star Wars toy that you could, it would take you a whole year to save for.
Yeah.
Other than maybe a PlayStation, something like that. I think I got from
PlayStations and stuff are
those
good. Did
don't
you ever get
count,
one of
do
like
they?
a video game?
Yeah, I used to get video games all the time.
Well, I got a PlayStation 2 years ago. What am I talking about? Chris got me a PlayStation because I said I was always looking at
the PlayStation 2 years ago?
No, the PlayStation 3, but I was just because I was always like, I'd go Christmas shopping and I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, I wish I'd almost want to impulse buy it, but I'm like, I don't play a PlayStation anymore. And then I told her the story, so I got one. And I played about 30 hours as a grown-up. I'm not really a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Turns out I went through that phase already. It's kind of like you and the Christmas toys.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of realize why you stopped doing it.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as fun.
It's like you get to that age where you're like just telling your parents what you want,
Yeah.
and then they go buy it, wrap it, and then you have to act surprised.
Oranges and candy canes.
Yeah.
Give me some oranges, a couple of candy canes. I'm good on everything else.
Do you do like I do? I actually now, to make sure I get the right gift, because... you get particular as you're older. Like, it's not just I want this one because there's a certain reason. So I actually take the link and email that to my mom. I'm like, this is the one. But my mom will still do, like, I asked for, like, a 12-bottle wine rack, because that's all you can put in this apartment, So my mom always she's like, well, bigger must be better. And then she gets one, it's like 30 bottles, and it's like this big across, and I got no place for it,
Yeah.
Whew, Mom thinks you're an elky, too. 12 bottles ain't enough for Dan.
She
Let's
knows
give him
me.
a 30 rack. So Ben, what do you? Oh, go ahead.
It's just something about somebody, like, if you tell them what to get you, they want to, like, just tweak it that little bit, give it their personal touch, and screw it up. Like,
Yeah. Go one more over. Go one. I got fooled pretty. I got a great like photo painting sort of thing blown up of Vancouver, in 1973.
Oh, nice.
Still like a sawmill town. It's taken from up on this. So you can't believe that was what Vancouver looked like. But Christy put it in a big bag, and her friend like wrapped it in sleeping bags and a bunch of stuff, and Carrie Ann was like, oh, like lifting it. And she's like, hold on. She had to get people to help her take it out of the car. I was like, what the hell what did she give me that weighs that much? I could not figure it out. It's just a painting like that one on your wall. It weighs about 1.5 pounds. She hauled this around for 3 days on the island. Very good misdirection, like a magician. Had me looking the other way the whole time. So,
and some people still like. Do you care if you know what you're opening or not? Like, do you really care about the surprise?
No, but it's good if one gets thrown by you once in a while. Like, I was that baffled. So when I opened up, I was really surprised because I've been looking at this painting in the window from her work. I was like, oh, that would be kind of nice to get. Yeah. And then I just kind of forgot. She taught, like, she remembered what I wanted, but then threw me with I was like, what is that? I don't need sporting goods equipment. I couldn't figure out what was that heavy.
Why is it so soft, too?
Well, it was wrapped in I knew it was wrapped in leather. She's like, Kaylin, can you help me? I'll bring this in from the car. So she had my brother help her haul it in and had another person help her haul it out. And I was like,
how was her acting?
Very good. Had me baffled. I was looking at it like the night before Christmas, like, what the hell is in that gift? And it was about, it could have been a dead dwarf.
That was your second guess?
Yeah, dead dwarf was guess number 2.
Really
golf
dark
clubs,
Christmas
dead dwarf. Yeah.
I like that though, like the idea of hiding what the present is, because you have that anticipation, the surprise. You're kind of like that, whatever week long, you're sort of excited thinking about it. That's a cool way to do a gift.
Yeah.
So then you leave it under the tree for a while, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's.
And you don't really know what it is. Like,
do you and your girlfriend did the big gift exchange?
No, we didn't do any gifts. We kind of steer clear of that. I remember one year in my family, like this is my aunt and uncle, they told their kids like they were bad, and so they were only going to get cereal for Christmas.
Yeah.
So what they did was they put all the gifts in cereal boxes and then wrapped those, and the kids opened them and just like freaked out. Thought they were getting Cheerios for dinner.
But
That's how my family operates. Yeah.
did they throw away did they throw down the boxes and like you're like pissed off like I don't want to? They had a big spaz and then they opened up
and then they opened. We're like, sorry.
Full of GI Joes. Just a bunch of GI Joes came flying out.
With the eyes, you think, or not?
It would have been good to put one cereal box, like actual Cheerios, but
Well, but one little guy at Christmas, Lindo, the little nephew, he can't guess shapes. Like he opens up his gift and it's, it's a guitar bag with there's a bass in it or whatever. He's like, ooh, he sees the bag and they're like, open it up. He's like, open it up. He goes, oh my God, it's like he's just shocked that there's a guitar. If I only had an amp. Like, open up that gift. It's obviously an amp and a bag. He's like, oh my God, it's an amp. Like, he couldn't see shapes. I've never seen.
How old is he?
He's 10. He just couldn't see the shape. Like, he was genuinely shocked that there was a guitar. The only thing that could fit in the guitar. It was already a guitar shape before he unwrapped the stuff. So it's a good, and that's what he asked for.
Yeah.
Too, right? But he was blown away when every step of the way he was shocked at each layer of the onion that he peeled. It was quite funny to see a kid that he just didn't get shapes, no clues.
2 years ago, my nephew was 6, and I bought him a gift, but I put it in just a box of oranges, like the orange Mandarin box, and I just put it in that, and then he opened up that, and he was like, "Oh my God, oranges!" and I was like, "No, like you gotta open the box, kid. Like this is ridiculous."
Dan knows about that already. So you got a whole box of oranges, you freak out. He just usually gets a stocking full.
That's true. You only get 2 or 3.
You played hockey for the New York Islanders, right?
No, not quite.
Pensacola Islanders?
Maybe something like that.
Any Islanders? Did you play hockey? You played some hockey.
Yeah, I played all kinds of, I played roller hockey for a while, then I played summer hockey. I was in those leagues. I played...
like the spring and summer league out at 8 rinks?
Yeah, I used to play there.
So we would have gone played against you?
Yeah, maybe. It was always varying qualities of opponents, varying qualities of teammates. So it was kind of fun hockey. Nobody took it super seriously.
So we were a variable quality of team.
We had different guys and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but we played the spring and summer league all the time because it was too busy to. Anyhow, but we played I think we were up there the Div 2. So I don't know if. Were you playing with the serious guys? Or
no, I was pretty young. I was probably 12 or 13.
Oh, well, that's a whole different thing. You weren't in the adult league.
No.
So your parents had you playing year round?
I didn't play I sometimes played the normal hockey, and other years I didn't.
What's the normal hockey?
In winter? The regular, the winter hockey, whatever. So.
And then roller hockey? When roller hockey was big?
When it was big, yeah. I was wanting to be a Vancouver Voodoo someday, but it didn't work.
Did you go to the Vancouver Voodoo games?
I went to some games, yeah. I remember there was one guy that was the best player by far. It was something Plavsic or something, and he ended up trying out or playing 6 games for the Canucks.
I'm thinking of Adrian Plavsic?
Yeah, maybe.
Because Plavsic played for the Canucks.
He played for them for a while, maybe.
Yeah, but Guy Charbonneau was the guy that scored all the goals for the Voodoo, and then they gave him, he did crack the Canucks lineup, but he only played
yeah, he played.
He didn't play many games. He lasted a half a year type thing for the Nucks. But
Carol Plavsic, is that his name?
Maybe.
Oh,
he might have had a brother or something.
There was the pit bull.
I don't know.
Yeah, he choked Hefe. He played for the Voodoo. The Plavsic. It's close to Plavsic though.
Yeah.
That you're thinking of. The pit bull Lukovic. He was sort of one of the big. Everybody loved him.
Maybe
in roller hockey because he scored well, but he was also crazy and could fight anyone. Did you have the Voodoo jersey?
I don't think I had any jerseys. I might have had some paraphernalia, I think you could get a finger to wag, the faux finger.
You had a Voodoo finger?
I think I might.
You'd think they'd have Voodoo dolls.
You'd think
maybe.
So.
They must have had.
My mom would have loved them.
Oh, you could have put one up in the case, a Voodoo doll of Tiger Will. He probably didn't want that getting out there. You just stab him with pins, but. The Voodoo mask, they had that.
I remember the mascot with the big flowing foam locks and stuff.
He had the locks, and then they were really weren't they kind of bright pinks and blues and stuff on the other?
Yeah, they were kind of that, kind of 90s-ish. It had a sort of purple, but that weird kind of neon-y purple.
Because I never went to a game. So you went to a game, cheered your head off as a kid with your number 1 Voodoo finger on, and thought one day I could make the do.
I couldn't be in the NHL. I wasn't good enough for that, but
you thought you had a shot at the do.
Yeah.
Do you got their lineup there, Dan?
Yeah, the highest scorer was a guy named Ryan Harrison who had 220 points
In one season?
in 86 games. This is their all-time, I think.
Oh, all-time Voodoo scoring list.
Sasha Lakovic.
That's
maybe?
the guy.
But he didn't score very well.
But how is
But I
his
think
penalty
he
minutes?
maybe scored a lot and then
he had, he only
set them up.
Well, but
he,
where was
he
he?
only played 14 games, right? And he had 31 points and 83 penalty minutes in 14 games.
Or was he just a fan favorite? And you remember, like, oh, that guy, you think he scored a lot, but it's just because the fans were like, go get him, Pitbull Lakovic. He was choking guys, cross-checking him
Looks
through
like
the boards.
points got put up pretty easy in
Yeah,
the
there was
roller
a lot
hockey.
of scoring.
It's kind of like the 4-on-4 league that I keep telling about my stats. That's sort of like it's closer to lacrosse, right?
Right.
You could have a 12-point game in roller hockey. What did is Larry Charbonneau in there? Maybe not Larry Charbonneau. I think I would have scored that kid.
Jose Charbonneau.
Jose Charbonneau is the
He
guy
had
who went to the
68
Nuts.
points in 14 games.
That was the guy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was lame.
Jose Charbonneau.
Yeah.
Only 10 penalty minutes.
Click
So-
on, see if you gotta see what he did in the show. He got a
the-
cup of coffee on the Nucks. He played.
Oh yeah, he played the Vancouver Canucks. He played 13 games.
13 games.
He scored 1 point. Not quite as easy.
1 point. Is that in the 94 season?
That was 88, 89.
88, 89. Oh, that's what it is. Because in the class.
Oh wait, and then he came back in 93, 94. So then he went all over the place here, and then they brought him
93,
back. He did better then. He got 14 points in 30 games.
That's after he played for the Voodoo.
Yeah.
And he also
stuck with it.
Yeah,
7-year gap.
7-year gap. He played.
Playing. That's
Well, I guess he
impressive.
got that little taste of the NHL. Then he had to go play everywhere. Made his comeback through the roller hockey leagues.
That's impressive.
But he's also, if you see from the 94, they're playing those classic games on TSN or whatever right now. They've got the healthy scratches.
Right.
From the 94
Yeah.
game, and he's on the list.
Oh,
Like,
is he?
he's him and Jimmy Carson. It's like Canucks healthy scratches and injuries, probably, right? Like it's old time.
He was drafted 12th overall in 85 by the Canadiens.
Wow.
Montreal Canadiens. He played a few games with them, and he's had quite the
12th
one of those guys-
overall by the Habs, and you wind up playing for the Voodoo on dry
This
blades.
is some of the teams he's played on top of the Vancouver Voodoo. He played for the Montreal Canadiens, the Sherbrooke Canadiens, the Milwaukee Admirals, Canucks, Berlin Dynamo, the Jolene Smoke Eaters, and I don't even know what league that is in.
I don't even know where Jolene is.
Yeah, the Hamilton Canucks. I think we used to have a farm team used to be Hamilton.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Thunder, the Landshut EV, the Wedemark Scorpions, and the Frankfurt Lions. That guy is
Back and forth.
seen
Wow.
somewhere around the world.
Man, that guy is a world-class hockey
World
player. He's
traveler.
played everywhere.
Yeah.
Did he play in the Spengler Cup? Did he get a little Spengler action?
They don't have any whether
Had some. I mean, if he was
he
drafted,
did play for the
12th, he
Canadian
must have
national
played.
team for one game.
Yeah.
Okay, that could have been in
92, 93. So who knows if that was a
Gone
Spengler
over.
Cup?
The
in there.
Spengler Cup's kind of. I don't know if you watch any of it. It's on right now.
The billboards is a little much.
I took a little look at it the other day. Canada was playing. I didn't know. The only guy I knew was Steve Tambellini's kid.
Yeah, Jeff Tambellini
Jeff
played for the Canucks.
Tambellini was playing, and Byron Ritchie was wearing number 93. He was wearing the hot shot number. He was skating around with a superstar number.
I heard it's a pretty good, because they get looked after. They live in the European teams, and they make $200,000 a year, living in Zurich or Davos, and they don't play that many games. I think they only play 40 some games or something like that. And they get looked after. Everything's covered.
Yeah, no, they do. They do okay in Europe.
Yeah.
You got to dress in the weird robot outfits.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, they just look. All of it looks weird,
It does
right?
look weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Labels
the
on-
advertising is too much.
And I thought those were Jofa helmets, but they're not. They're like whatever the Europeans are wearing for lids now. Because you look at the helmets, they're still kind of crazy. But then I saw in the NHL Classics that Jofa stopped making helmets in, I forget what it is, let's go with 1998 or
Yeah.
something. And Teemu Selanne bought
When
the last
Gretzky
of them.
retired?
Didn't a bunch of players buy 100 of them? Wasn't that
I
the
guess
famous
Selanne
story?
was the last
Selanne
guy
was
wearing
one
them.
guy.
He had his stockpile of Jofa helmets. That was the only guy left was Selanne. When Selanne retired, that was the end of the Jofas in the NHL. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So he wore the last Jofa. Craig McTavish, last guy without a helmet.
Yeah.
We don't know who wore the last Northland, that round one that Stan Mikita would have worn. One of those awful lids.
Do you think he was buying and calling up the factory? I need these in my lucky helmets.
I think back then you grabbed whatever helmet was lying around the house, took it to Butch Goring wore that same helmet from Pee-wee or whatever he is, Bantam. Painted it every game.
20-year helmet dudes.
Yeah, just wore his helmet from...
One helmet for life.
That's probably because back then they took it out of your pay.
That's
like
right.
if you broke a stick or something, they were like, it's come out of your pay, Goring.
I think there was a real lack of safety regulations.
Yeah.
It had that nice lining of asbestos on the side of it that had like turned green from your head.
Yeah, the old CCMs is flaking off on the
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
He's got some Star Wars stickers on the back of his helmet. Got a Chewbacca and a Princess Leia on there. Whatever
When he was 12,
whatever he's been collecting, the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now they're like, oh, no stickers. We tried to put a rat dog sticker on the helmet in the adult league here, and the ref was like,
Messes
hey,
up safety.
Hey, that eats away at the helmet. That's no longer regular. Yeah, they told us.
Which Goring used to paint this before every game. What the fuck are you talking about?
Which Goring had a guy who had a helmet painter on the team at Trail League. Between purple and yellow one year for the Kings. He had to go back and forth.
You know, when somebody tells you that, there's nothing you can say back but bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might have a rule, but the one you're telling me is just full of shit. It doesn't eat away at the helmet.
Eats away through the helmet?
Like, well, he probably would have lived if he hadn't had that sticker on his helmet.
Damon died of sticker helmet.
And that's one serious ref for beer league. Hey, what are you doing with that extra sticker on your lid?
Pulls out the rollback.
Yeah,
Dude, you make it $30. Fuck off.
he didn't say anything about no visor.
Yeah.
Wasn't worried about my eyes. He just worried about a deteriorating sticker in the back corner. It was probably in the soft spot of the helmet.
What was the sticker?
A rat dog sticker.
Oh.
It was just our team emblem on the side. But I was allowed to have you have to have the sticker that says that you
Stop.
It's a
signed
safety
up.
sticker.
There's a sign that says every year. It's kind of like how you go for your when you get a new renew your insurance.
Yeah.
In your car, they just give you the new sticker. Goes over. It's got a little bit of different color so cops can tell.
That one's made special for helmets. It doesn't eat away.
Doesn't eat away.
It doesn't eat away. Yours wasn't an approved rat dog non-eating sticker.
So in your roller hockey league, did you put in any goals? Have you ever scored?
Yeah, I've scored some goals.
Did you have good hands, or are you a feisty guy in the corner?
No, I was like definitely skill. I was a bit of a floater.
Oh, a bit of a floater?
Tried to get breakaways and tried to get the puck in the slot and score goals.
Just tried to
It was
get...
mostly skill. I was too small to be... Roller hockey was like, you couldn't really hit people. Like, you could body them a little bit, but they didn't want any kids going down on the pavement, I guess. But
Yeah, it's a little bit soft. Did you play on the pavement, or did you ever get to play on the stuff like the Voodoo played on? That kind of...
Yeah, we played on... like
slippery, Lego-y sort of stuff?
Yeah, we had those little pucks that had that little, like, slippery kind of
the little
thing
roller things on them?
It was fun.
Yeah, I thought roller hockey was a pretty good thing, game when it was around. Played a few. Really hot, though.
Yeah,
Like
you
in
get
the
really hot.
Hold that. Somebody was calling in. A caller on the show.
The first caller.
First
Talking
caller.
to Dan and Damon.
What do you need? Oh, sorry, wrong number.
Can you pick up some groceries later?
Yeah.
Well, at least we don't have the FM. I got there's this one guy works for a radio station, and he used to be a DJ. Now he's in sales, and he always do like, "Hey, how's it going, Dan?" And he calls me in the radio voice. He called me at 8:30 this morning. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Did I fucking win something?" And he's like, "Are you sleeping?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, I just calling about something." And I'm like, "That was dealt with 3 months ago." All right, good. Get back to sleep, Dan. Have a good night.
Is he? And that's just his regular voice now?
All the time. Like every time he gets off the phone, I just make fun of him for a while.
He can't
it's,
shake it.
It's like, I just want to go through the sales pitch here, Dan. What we've got is we got 30 ads. We're going to start with those, and then we're doing the promotion part. We're doing everything we can here to get the sales on, And then you're just like, oh my god, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen what he? Is there any footage of him talking as a child?
I don't know if he's always been that way.
Or maybe he's toned down. Maybe he used to be really like he just went in. He was a natural. He just had to go to. Do you think he's listening right now? Like
probably not.
Dan Quinn.
Probably not. Well, there's just in case there's a chance I'm not saying his name.
Oh, okay. You don't think he's going to figure it out?
Well, I'm thinking no, because there's probably everybody who's in radio goes, that could be me.
That's true. That's true. The radio.
They like to do the radio, the morning radio DJ. That sort of I think it's just trained. How do they get that voice?
Yeah, I think they must
You go to school
You go to school and they
Yeah.
teach you how to do it, and they tell you to your job is to wake people up with your energy, I guess, and just shout at them and you're trying to get through to people at that time of the day.
I guess so. Huh?
So do you think, or just maybe the guy who teaches the school was that
there's just
guy?
one guy,
So he's
yeah.
just like, this is how you got to do it.
It's the Bernard technique or whatever. He was the first guy to get people going in the morning.
Maybe he's got a book out, you know what I mean? Like that he's like called the Bernard
But
technique.
it's in sales too, where you're trying to you're setting the frame. You're like telling people what it is. You're the one with the power, and raising your voice and talking fast is like one way to do that.
Yeah, and always bring a noisemaker.
Yeah.
In case a joke goes flat.
Let me tell you about the salesman that's coming up.
Well, because you notice that
It's a
even
red
when
light
you're
special.
watching, now that there's so many sports channels and that, I notice even the sportscasters have no knowledge of sports. You can see there's the odd guy on there, like woman or a guy who's doing like, "Hey, wasn't that a fun play?" Like they got the artificial smile, and like they could be talking about whatever it was. They went to broadcasting school, and this just happens to be their first gig is in sports.
Yeah, they also applied for the weather job.
The weather job,
for
they were
everything.
on Entertainment Tonight, whatever they wanted. They were ready to report on anything. So they're not even really, I think, sure what they're talking about. I think they're just, it's like if you were to, you could probably get them on the cue card trick.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you, just get them to keep reading. And they would read off and,
And that's why I swallowed dick. Oh my God.
I think you can get on the cue card trick.
The anchor man.
The Anchorman trick, yeah, I think it would work for sure. Not for sure. Well, we should find out. I'm sure we could get sneakers.
Because they got an awful lot of babes on sports shows now.
Yeah.
Which you got to think, not that babes can't be in the sports, it's just they never needed to be. So, why are you spending all that time watching sports and doing stuff?
Just by watching, it's not just like chicks. You can see some women that like, or some women have been around, so they really like sport, and then you can just see there's some guys, they've got the whole look of like, they're busy, more concerned about looking like their smile and hitting their camera marks and their pronunciation than they are about... the male model, about what's going on in the sports. You just see that, like, they think that nobody's watching the big highlight that's going on behind them. They're cued up on their smile. So I'm like, it's getting a little weird. Yeah. I think there's too much broadcasting school now.
Do you think there's a bit of like where they there's a huge highlight or whatever, like the Odell Beckham Jr. catch where he's over the shoulder and it gets replayed hundreds of times and everybody's talking about it and they're like, "Did you see me intro the Odell Beckham?" It's being played a lot. If that's all anybody can talk about, like, no, they're talking about the catch.
I've got 2 million hits on YouTube.
I've got 2 million hits on YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I can see that. I like it when you have like the panel and you can tell it's like a couple of those guys that are like the male model broadcasting students and then a couple of like 60-year-old dudes that are been like hockey guys for 20 years.
Like
and
Bob
just the
McKenzie,
interactions between them are really funny.
Yeah, because they have no...
There's just no like frame of reference.
Yeah, one guy knows how and then the other guy just turns and stuff. Yeah, well, they were doing... It looks that way now. I don't know if you've watched any of the Hockey Night in Canada, but they've got the older... guy, they bring in Nick Kiprios and these guys. They're trying to loosen him up. Oh, loosen the tie, little fellas.
For the kids.
They give them some popcorn to eat or something. And they're breaking down plays, and a couple of no, and then there's just the one guy asking questions. You're like, this guy is not. Well, it's Strombo.
Yeah,
but I guess he knows his hockey. So anyhow.
It's always a bad sign when they get rid of the desk and bring in the chairs and they get like the lounge.
It's too casual.
Cool. You're like, it doesn't quite work.
Who tried that? Didn't Sportsnet try that when they first came in? They got the guys like TSN's always had the guys behind the desk. So Sportsnet tried the old, like the high floating bar chairs where they turn like that kind of when they left.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, so they're just sitting like your legs are dangling above the.
There's a certain nakedness that when there's nothing between you and, like, as a comedian, we feel that all the time. Yeah. But like bands don't, like, because they got the guitar or something like that. If you're at a desk, you sort of feel like you're protected from them. Yeah. There's a weird thing where you're just like, I'm fully exposed to this whole crap.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't like the dangling legs.
Yeah.
I don't like to do it. I don't have the longest legs. I don't like it when my toes are just touching that first rung of the ladder to keep
you feel like a kid,
Yeah, they put you out there and then they got to twist you a little bit. Yeah. I don't like the mornings. I don't like any of those morning shows when I have to go.
Yeah, there's something about, they do it on Hockey Night in Canada now too, where they like throw to the other guys and they're kind of in these, like, they're not lounge chairs, but they're almost at that angle. And just the way that a man looks when he's a grown dude in a suit sitting in one of those chairs, it's just horrible. It's really bad.
Bad posture, everything.
It's really bad. It's like, do you remember when Jay Leno had the like 10 o'clock show? they used to bring them out and put them in these big chairs, and it was just the most uncomfortable thing you could ever imagine.
I never.
It's a little bit like that.
I don't think I ever watched a 10 o'clock show, which is probably why it didn't last very long either.
I didn't watch the 10 o'clock show either.
Yeah,
I never even gave it a look.
Look it up on YouTube just for the chairs.
So they're too relaxed.
They're these,
Jay
like,
Leno in a
big
relaxing
kinda
chair.
King chairs. Yeah, he has no desk in front of him, and the guest like doesn't know how to sit. It's really weird.
So Bob Costas used to just have a little chair, didn't he? When he did late night.
Yeah, I think Bob Costas, because then Greg Kinnear took over and he brought in a desk. That
was it Greg Kinnear? Who's the guy who was in between? And
no, it went Costas to Kinnear. Then it went to what's his name, who ended up starting the Daily Show. He started the Daily Show, and Jon Stewart took over because he took over. He was in
Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn.
Somebody else in there. There was like the serious one for a little bit. It was like not Tom Lehrer, but it was something like that. Tom Snyder. But
Tom Snyder is before that, I think. Yeah. Because Dan Aykroyd even does impressions of him on the original Saturday Night Live. So he's got to be back from the 70s.
No, but Tom Schneider took over that show for a very brief period of time, right?
Yeah. It was kind of like an interview show.
Yeah,
I think he might have been between Kilborn. No, when Kilborn, and then who was after Kilborn on that show? Did it go straight to
Kilborn
went to Ferguson?
Yeah, went to Ferguson.
Did Kilborn, is he dead?
No.
What happened to him? I saw him
He just retired from
He wanted to be an actor, I think.
He got one role in The Wedding Crashers and he was done. He got a role as a dick. Maybe he's just an absolute dick in real life.
Well, he always seemed like a dick. There was never anything he didn't seem like he was a dick in. Even when he was a host on the show, he was a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you're just a dick, and now he just wore out his welcome in show business?
Kind of his shtick. But he quit, which is the crazy thing.
Yeah,
right?
he quit to go
Nobody quits those jobs, right?
But Andy Richter did. Remember Andy Richter didn't want to be a sidekick there for a while? He left Conan, he went on his own for a while, he did some Scary Movie 4s and stuff, and then he
came back. Yeah.
He came back. It was too good a gig to pass up, being the sidekick. Ed McMahon's not an easy gig to get.
No, that's got to be the best gig in show business.
Well, I think when you're there,
you throw in one joke every now and then, the easy sitting on the couch sidekick.
Yeah, he's got one acting role. I don't know what I think he was making a lot of million. He was making like $7 million a year from the Late Late Show when he quit.
What?
So
why was he making that much? Who overpaid Craig Kilborn? Who signed that contract?
Well, because he was doing the Daily Show.
Yeah.
And then so Greg Kinnear, when Costas, then Kinnear, and Kinnear was doing it, and then Kinnear actually started doing movies and was doing quite well. So he left. And then Tom Schneider came in and didn't last very long. So CBS went after Kilborn and said, we'll move you from the Daily Show to the Late Late Show. And there was rumor that Jon Stewart was going to take over for Letterman. But then Letterman decided not to. And then so he got the Daily Show. And that's how Jon Stewart became on the Daily Show. But Jon Stewart didn't start the Daily Show. That was Craig Kilborn's show. Yeah, and then so he was making and then he thought, hey, I'm going to go like Kinnear. And I'll do the acting roles and be a big movie star and not have to work every night.
Almost had the same name.
Yeah.
Kinnear, Kilborn.
So
people got mixed up a little bit at the beginning, and then he got $7 million. That's all the money Adam Yauch had for his estate when he passed away. The Beastie Boys guy.
Well, that's all he had left.
Yeah. But this dickhead was getting that amount a year. Craig Kilborn was getting Beastie Boy career money per season. That's offensive, man.
That's not fair.
Yeah, that is not fair. That's
yeah.
And is he in the? Where is he now? Category for Kilborn? Does it say anything? Is
Wikipedia
he missing?
just ends. They're like early life Daily Show. We don't know what happened. And filmography 2003. He was in Old School, and then
down the bottom corner it says fade out. His script just ends right there.
He guest hosted the Artie Lang show. That's all he could get now.
Jeez,
wild.
He must have been an asshole, like that nobody would give him a shot because he was kind of the big dude for a little while there.
Yeah.
It was down to him and Paul Bettany for Wimbledon, though, too.
Yeah,
to play that role. Yeah, down to those two.
Maybe that was it.
Then they played. They actually played a tennis match to see who would get the role. And straight sets. Paul Bettany beat him 6-love, 6-love, 6-love.
This is made up. I don't believe it.
We throw some facts around out here.
So this is what he said. In August 2004, he elected not to extend his contract, referring to it as an early retirement. In a 2010 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Kilborn said, I didn't leave to do anything else. I left to leave. I achieved my career goals, and it wasn't at all it was cracked up to be.
Oh, so he just quit.
Yeah, he'd made enough money.
Yeah.
So he could probably just never work again. And he'll still have $7 million left over at the end.
Still have Beastie Boys money.
Still have some Beastie Boys money at the end.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do any of those concerts. He didn't have to tour.
Tour. He didn't have to. Yeah, he didn't have to like put all his money into a record label, make some good videos. That's it. He's out.
Yeah. Although he did do a show in 2010 called The Kilborn File on selected Fox stations, and it lasted 6 weeks.
Okay.
Right, yeah, I remember that when he had a sort of mini comeback.
Was it on TV or a radio thing?
No, it was on TV. It was like a talk show.
Okay. So he's kind of just decided he can dabble. He keeps a toe in the water.
Yeah.
If he needs to get into something, you could make the call, but he's basically...
Plus, you got to buy his house before the market went up crazy.
I thought the rule was, though, when you got a talk show, you had to just, like, hold on to it for as long as you can, even if you stopped enjoying doing it, like, 20 years ago.
That is the standard rule. That is...
Even when you say you're stepping down, like, how long did it take Letterman to actually step down? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm stepping down, and we're giving it away, and that was still a year and a half.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, everybody's all of a sudden, I didn't even know Craig Ferguson was finishing up. All of a sudden, he's like, what? He's over. He's out.
Yeah.
10 years, he's done.
Supposedly he had something in his contract where if he didn't get the 11:30 show, they had to pay him like a ton of money. So he was like happy that he didn't get it.
And just retired.
They'd give him like $10 million or something.
Okay. So he didn't get bumped up.
Yeah. So
so he left because he thought he'd get Letterman's gig, and then they gave it to Al Franken. He's coming back, right? Al Franken's taking over from Saturday Night Live?
What? Is that who's
taking over the Late Late?
Stephen Colbert.
It's Stephen Colbert.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
Who's taking over the Late Late Show now?
But that's because Stephen Colbert beat Paul Bettany in tennis. He's very good.
Yeah,
straight sets.
Checkers.
Yeah.
It's some new guy, James Croydon or Corden. He's a British guy.
British
actor.
Yeah.
Who played hockey for the Vancouver Voodoo.
It all comes around.
FC Davidos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep the lack of hockey in this one hockey. Oh, look at there, Tom Schneider.
Why do they want a British or, I guess...
Well, because they tried Scottish. That worked pretty well.
Yeah.
It seems like they can get them cheaper. I don't know if that's the plan. Like,
maybe the guy's really funny, and then it starts a whole nobody knows who they are over here, so you throw that guy in, and he builds his own... fan base. Like what Craig Ferguson was just the boss from the Drew Carey shows. All I knew. I knew he had he did stand up in that.
Well, he did stand up. He was he'd done a lot of stuff in the UK.
Yeah,
and he'd done some movies as well. I remember when I did Montreal, some manager was talking about how funny he was, and he was like big star because he'd done some movie, and I think they got the Drew Carey show based on this movie he'd done, where he was the lead of.
But that's an odd thing to go from like boss on a sitcom sidekick deal to
to the host.
To the host, and did he play any hockey?
I don't know. Probably not in Scotland.
Not a lot of hockey.
There's a Scottish league.
I guess there must be now, but probably not when he was growing up.
Oh no, back when he was growing up, there was no hockey.
Yeah,
Scotland.
What was it? The movie he did. It was like '99. Big T's, and he wrote it.
Right, yeah, I know he wrote a few movies.
He wrote it and started, and that was his like big break. He saw, he came, he conquered,
and he hated it.
Flamboyant Glasgow hairdresser.
He hated that movie.
Did he?
Yeah, he said he made a movie. He was talking about how does it go wrong. I wrote it, I directed, I started it, and it was still shitty. It wasn't what I wanted. I had all that, and it still didn't come out the way I wanted. He's like fucking producers and casting. He's like, it's all casting. He's like, I took a bunch of ideas. I heard him on the podcast saying that he took a bunch of ideas and suggestions from these producers. He's like, I can't believe it. I had all those 3 things, and it still didn't turn out the way I wanted.
It still made his career, though.
I know, but that I guess it made his career. He just sounded like he never
turned that into the boss on the Drew Carey show, and 6-7 years of late night talk show hosting. More than that, like probably 8 years.
Yeah, I think he's been on for almost
10. 2005.
Said it was 10 years.
Was it 10?
You hunt him up at 10 years.
Yeah,
he just broke Tom Schneider's record. Put him 4th all time in the late night.
He had to pass Craig Kilborn. Yeah, that was his big goal.
It goes Carson, Leno, Letterman. Boom. Ferguson, 4th all time on the points list.
Carson on like 30 years or something?
I don't know.
Must have been a while. Because Letterman's been on for a long time. He's been on since 84 or something.
Yeah, Letterman took in, Carson. Yeah, I think Carson did 30 years. Jack Parr put in a shift there. He's ninth on the all-time list of scoring.
People forget about Jack Parr.
People forget about old Jack Parr. A wicked backhand on Jack Parr. That guy could turn an interview inside out quick. A real cherry picker floater, kind of a fancy guy like yourself, Ben.
Yeah, he waited for the right moments, though, and then he, boom, brought it home.
Yeah. Jack Parr, Steve Allen, had a cup of coffee in the show. He went and played roller hockey. That's where his career went sideways.
Yeah, how long is Jimmy Fallon going to hold that gig for?
Forever.
Indefinite. He's going to be the Dick Clark of talk shows.
He's super young. Yeah, I mean, it's more like how long will those late night talk shows still continue to be a thing, I think, more than...
Well, I think they will, because they're just sort of a staple.
Yeah.
People just,
I just think at some point, like, maybe it'll go beat another 20 years, but the broadcast TV thing at some point is going to collapse, right?
Do you ever laugh watching those late night shows?
No.
Like, that's the thing, is like, people watch them because they're supposedly funny, but it's just more like you're watching people pretend to be funny. Like, they're not great jokes. Like, most of it isn't. It's just supposed, like, once every 4 or 5 episodes, maybe there's something funny. Like, legitimately funny. You're like, okay, that's pretty good. But most of the time, you're just kind of watching, oh, that's an interview, and, that's happened.
I guess maybe I don't really watch them any more. And once in a while, I'll be flipping by, I'm like, oh, Bradley Cooper's on Letterman, let's see what these two chirp about or something, right? But I used to just, as a kid, watch, like, Letterman or something to see what turkeys he was going to throw off a building or whatever it was, right? But now I'm like, I could care...
Yeah, I could care less.
Although I do, when I flip by, I wound up watching Fallon play Pictionary against Seinfeld and Amanda Sings, and that was really funny.
Yeah, but that's the one out of, like, every how many episodes? Where
one out of one for me. I'm batting 1,000 over here.
So you're saying Jimmy Fallon is funny every single time. That's what we heard.
The man's on. He took broadcasting school.
What more do you want to say? Didn't you see it on YouTube later?
No, I went by. I just happened to flick by. I'm like, what's going on here? They were like, Martin Short was on. So I stopped. I was flicking by and I saw Marty Short coming out. So I stopped.
Like The Daily Show, Colbert, like the writing is so good that those other talk shows, they don't really even try to keep up with that. They just kind of
like Jon Stewart can legitimately
make it light, try to make it pleasant.
It seems like he's doing jokes. Where the other guys are just kind of doing silly things like, hey, then we're doing this and this is fun, right? And you're like, okay, where's the joke?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know if they do any of the jokes work in the opening. When they come out and do a monologue? Is a good monologue joke been written well in the last 10 years?
I don't know. I can't think of a monologue joke that's fun.
It's just like bang, 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 boom, or whatever. Like, they all kind of sound the same. They all seem to.
But it's always like a throwaway, and that's why you always whatever the pump. Jump to the pump. They make something just to say, like they'll take a thing like they just take it and then they take some catchphrase.
Right.
What's the one that now is taking over for Jimmy Fallon? He's fucking horrible.
Oh, Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers. That guy just has no interesting bones in his body.
Didn't they put him behind the desk? Doesn't he even not come out and do
I don't know. It was so bad I couldn't watch it. What's that?
He does a monologue.
Yeah, he does a monologue, but it's horrible.
Yeah.
He's just not funny at all.
They play his monologue in the Florida Panthers dressing room before every game.
Get him
fired up, bring them down. That's when they're last place in the league. Oh, Seth Meyers monologue.
Florida's doing well, man.
Florida's doing good. Florida, actually, they're just outside the playoffs, but they've only played like 32 games, where everybody else played like 37, 38, and they're only 2 points out of a playoff spot.
Well, I'm surprised both of you are following Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers.
Big Luongo, Florida Luongo.
Willie Mitchell, you got a lot of ex-Canucks there.
Willie Mitchell,
That's where Canucks go to die.
Pride of Port Hardy.
Go to retire.
Well, they used to take him from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they send Canucks down to Florida.
I like it this way better, sending them there.
Yeah, so do I. It's not good to take Florida's best player every year. It turns out to be a bust.
Well, Detroit thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah, they took Stephen Weiss.
Yeah. 5-6 year contract. They got about.
Our guest just left.
Our guest is like, I'm out, and we got into the Florida.
He's gone to the back. He's gone. He says he's a Lou lover. Then he gave us the throat slip. He waved us off, and then he just gently walked away.
We offended him with the Florida comments. Maybe he's getting ready for his New Year's countdown.
Oh, we might as well just wrap up. The guest is gone. The show's over.
He's gonna come out in some outfit.
Maybe it is a big finale. We don't know if this is a big. This could be like a Jimmy Fallon moment.
He's a podcast veteran. This isn't his first podcast. Well, he's done other ones.
We don't know what's going on behind that door. He could be changing into a Luongo goalie gear. All sorts of crazy stuff. We'll give him a couple of minutes to come back.
Once you bring up Luongo, it's
all over.
It's over.
Although the 20-man shootout was pretty good.
Yeah.
Against the Capitals. I don't know if you watched that.
I did watch that.
Road to the Winter Classic?
Yes.
You watching that?
I watched one episode of that. I don't know when it comes on, so it's sort of like if I'm there, I catch it. I watched it.
It comes on every 2 hours.
Yeah. Speaking of want to tell this story. So I went into, I was in Edmonton last week on Sunday night, and the Oilers were playing Dallas, and they went into a shootout. Big shootout. Went like 7-8 skaters as well. And I was going up for dinner, and I was like walking in the Cactus Club, and I thought to myself, I'm like, man, the Oilers are so young. I bet this is where they would come to pick up chicks. You know, this is probably like, hey, we'll go to the restaurant and pick up girls because they, don't know where else to go. And I walk in, and there's Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, and I couldn't see the third guy. He had longer hair and a beard, and I was trying to figure out who he was. Must have been kind of a newer player, but they walk in and Taylor Hall is like, hey, is our table ready? And the girls are giving him hugs and stuff like. So he goes in there, must have go in there all the time, and they're like, oh no, we thought you were going to be here, so we gave away the table. And he's like, yeah, well, the game went really long tonight. I was like, that's all you had this reserved before where you were going out after. Like, that's what 23-year-old kids do to make $6 million a year.
They go to the Cactus Club.
And
he wasn't prepared for it to go into overtime. Well, we thought we'd lose in regulation like normal.
Like normal.
So his table was gone?
His table was gone. So they got him a new table. And it was funny is that, because I was watching the football game, and they were like sitting directly across from me. So like I could see them pretty much the whole time, and not that many people came up to him in the bar. Like nobody did. I guess when they were winning, they probably got laid more. And then,
when was that?
What's that?
When was that?
In junior hockey.
Junior hockey. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
In junior hockey. Now they're just like guys making $6 million a year, sitting there hoping they get a fucking Cactus Club waitress,
eating some edamame.
Yeah.
And a beer.
Yeah.
While they wait for their table to be done.
Yeah. That's about it.
So it was him
and Jordan Eberle.
And Nick Arcobello.
Maybe Mark, before he got traded.
Zukulich.
Mark Arcobello, I think.
Mark Arcobello.
Yeah.
Trade him for a guy who got waived.
Yeah.
They could have Darren Roy for
that's
nothing.
The thing. You're the worst team in the league. You automatically get that player by just claiming him. And Edmonton's like, nope.
We missed him in the waive period. We're going to trade one of our guys.
How does that happen?
A guy that Nashville was just giving away. I don't know. That's the Oilers for you.
I don't even understand that.
They must have been trying to get rid of him or shed salary or something.
They got, I guess it had to be like...
any other team but Edmonton.
Edmonton is in no position to get rid of anybody. They should be just trying to get everybody they can and hope somebody just goes, you know what, I was playing shitty before.
Yeah.
And now...
Anybody willing to play in Edmonton should just
I'd like to
roll out the red carpet.
I'd like to see McTavish be the first player coach in 3 decades. I'll show you son of a bitches how it's done. Just dressed.
Yeah.
Just dressed, but not like, because he doesn't need to put on a helmet or anything, right?
Yeah.
He's patrolling behind the bench. He just standing there.
Some skates.
And every now and then he calls the number, step aside, boy. He hops over. But he plays like 3 minutes a game.
His job is just to go into a corner and dig out a puck. That's it. He just goes and
I don't even know. I don't remember McTavish going into corners much.
Just maybe like lay
Open
out the
ice
best
guy. Yeah.
player on the other team.
But I just say he's dressed just in case. You can dump the board. Like, he still stands up on the thing where the coaches go.
Yeah.
But every now and then, in case he needs to take a shift, he has to show the guys how it's done. He can hop on. You might as well dress him.
He gives Derek Roy the tap and says, whoa, you just got here. Let me show you how it's done. Yeah. He goes out and does a shift, and then Derek Roy goes and gets a next shift.
He's telling a rookie how to play. And
their best defenseman since Pronger at this point.
Yeah.
What's that?
McTavish would be their best defenseman since Pronger.
McTavish was a forward.
Oh, was he?
But, but he'd still be their best defenseman since Pronger. Put him back there, right? Yeah, because they got no D guys. I don't even know who they got back there anymore.
I don't think they know.
Oh, no, they got, what's his name? They got the vegan from Boston. They brought in the vegan.
Brad Ferentz.
Brad Ferentz, yeah, they brought in the vegan.
Schultz. They got rid of the good Schultz.
Yeah,
they're like, no, we're not getting... They got rid of, like, the funny thing is they get rid of their good players when they start getting good. And they're like, no, they're too good for us. We're trying to get last.
Oh, by the way, folks, Ben McGinnis is back
I'm
here.
back.
He didn't change into a Luongo outfit or anything. No Superman outfit, nothing. He put on his Vancouver Voodoo jersey, and that's it. He's sitting here in a Voodoo jersey.
Had to go float for a minute.
A Jose Carbonneau.
A Jose Carbonneau signed Voodoo jersey.
Jersey.
Number 56. Who knew that's what he wore?
Yeah.
Jose Charbonneau.
Yeah.
Well, kids, I hope you have a happy New Year. That's been another episode here. Oh, we should probably get the trivia.
Oh, yeah.
We got the trivia?
Yeah, we got...
How do you think your hockey trivia is, Ben?
Medium?
Medium. Medium at best. Well, that's better than mediocre. Right? Do you know who Dan Russell is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got Dan Russell's hockey trivia here for you.
Yeah, lay it on me.
See how you do. All right. Here it comes. Question number 1. What jersey number did Pat Quinn wear while playing for the Vancouver Canucks? It's multiple choice before you answer.
Okay.
2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, or 15.
That's too many choices.
Okay, let's try this again. Sorry, your choices are...
After the third one, I was like, I don't think it was any of those.
Your choices are 2, 3, or 5.
Pat Quinn,
Yeah.
when he played for the Vancouver Canucks, was a defenseman.
Yep.
He wore number 2.
Number 3. Close.
so
One off.
close.
I guess he was the third guy. Goalie
There's not
wore
too many
number
number
1.
3s out there anymore, is there?
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Kevin Bieksa.
Yeah.
Juice.
Oh, see,
Lars Eller, is he number 3?
Okay, who was the last NHL goalie to play a game without a face mask? Andy Brown, Gump Worsley, Jim Carey.
I think it was Gump Worsley.
It's Andy Brown.
What?
But
How
who
do you
knew
hold
Andy
on to
Brown?
that
I
one?
know that.
I can't see.
Yeah,
It can't
I prefer
be Jim
the pucks
Carrey.
in the
That
face.
was like the 80s when he was playing.
yeah. I'm guessing Andy Brown must have been like some 60-year-old, 50-year-old guy like at the last minute, like, can we get Andy Brown? Someone's down. It's because Andy Brown didn't have much. Okay. The Kootenay Ice won the 2002 Memorial Cup. Who did they defeat in the championship game? Erie, Victoriaville, or Guelph?
No idea. Guelph?
Victoriaville. Oh,
these
for
are tough
3
questions.
straight sets. You went down like you were.
Was Jarrett Stoll
like I
the
was
captain?
Paul Bettany, and I just
know.
destroyed you.
I think Jarrett Stoll might have been the captain of that team as well.
Jarrett Stoll.
2002.
And what about Andy Brown? What about how with this faceless, this goalie with no mask?
Yeah, let's get a picture of this beat
Let's
up
get
face
Andy
of his.
Brown's face up for the pot. That'll be our picture for this week. Will be Andy Brown's face. Because who knew that he was the last guy to...
Let's see.
Does he
if they
even
have
show up?
The team. It's kind of really hard to... Here we go. Maybe scoring leaders.
Oh, you're still looking up you're trying to find out your...
If it was Jarrett Stoll. But I think it was. Well,
Type in last goalie to wear no mask. I guess that doesn't even count. That's not even the right question. Last goalie to play without a mask?
I guess
last
so,
goalie
yeah.
without mask. Andy Brown.
What's it say about this guy?
Andrew Conrad Brown, born 1944. So he finished in 1972.
Look at that. He played 1977. He skated out with no mask for the Detroit Red Wings, for the Penguins.
Yeah. Oh, no, he was in the Indianapolis Racers. So Pittsburgh Penguins, 73-74. Played 36 games.
I thought everyone put on a lid by the second round of expansion.
Yeah.
It's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Well,
No mask.
He finished his whole career. He played in the WHA without a mask, and they nicknamed him Fearless.
That makes sense.
He only had a 6-year career, though.
do you think he had to live up to the nickname? He got called Fearless early, and he put on a mask. Like, I can't. I'm fearless. There goes my whole name.
Yeah. The chicks like it, you know.
All right.
We're going to the Cactus Club later. Yeah.
Well,
All right, let's do a countdown for Happy New Year's, Dick Clark style.
Okay, everyone.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
5,
4 golden rings.
3,
2.
1. Happy New Year!
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, the whole goddamn family was drunk as a louse. With my mother in the whorehouse and my dad in jail, I said, fuck this shit. I sat down and had a glass of cold Yale. When out on the yard, I hear such a clatter. I get off my sister to see what the matter. And what to my stone-out eyes should appear but a shitty old sled and 8 fucking reindeer. With a shitty old man who was beating his dick, I knew at that moment it gotta be St. Nick. He flew across the yard, up the house. He cried to the deer, "Onward, you fucking bastards, off with your balls." Then down the chimney he came like a bat out of hell. I knew at that moment the fat fucker fell. He filled all the stockings with drugs and beer and a big rubber dick for my brother who's queer. And up again he went with a fart. That son of a bitch blew my fucking chimney apart. And I hear him say, as he flew out of sight, "Piss on y'all, it's been a great fucking night."
Once upon a time, there was a show called You Want Country.
Hey guys, it's Brandy.
This is Haley.
And this is Mark doing an announcer voice for a movie.
You're listening to the You Want Country show. Don't miss it.
Rated R.
You know you want it.
Yay, yay!
There will be nudity, but it's a podcast, so use your imagination.